Hello, Vudani here, and today I have a Necro PvP video. I am using a Scepter Warhorn build. This is heavy into wells, and it does use Plague, which is very nice. This is a build specifically meant for hot join matches, so just random people. It does have a few weaknesses for that. It would probably fare pretty well in tournaments, but my goal here is to score points, get some glory. And right there I just cap the dock. That's kind of a standard thing I do. I try to cap that first just for that 10 extra points. And now we're gonna move over. I'm gonna try to stick with the pack here, and this is actually kind of a difficult point for me. If I am on a point and they're ranged up there, that is difficult to hold with this build. It does use wells. I do not have ground target, and you saw I neutralized that point. And now I'm gonna try to poke at this person in. Just dodge back here to get this quick 10 points and then go on to finish them off. The points for captures really add up. They're especially useful in a hot join match where you're actually losing. And I'm going to go for the stomp, hopefully get the skirmisher. Do not get it, but that's okay. Gonna go right on this ranger. We do have overwhelming odds. If you want to score a lot of points, you're going to want to stick with a pack, and I'm going to throw down some wells here. Just do the one to get the protection. That's very important. This build is going to provide you with protection for 3 seconds every time you put down a well, and I cannot stress enough how useful that is. It is actually probably the most important thing to staying alive. Aside from the well effects themselves, that protection is just absolutely massive. You're going to get a lot of health recovered from the well of blood, which is your heal, and just the combination of protection with healing and your defensive stuff is very nice. And I go right in with Plague, and I like to spam the blindness just to, it has a nice bleed. Obviously Plague does a lot of damage for condition builds, and right now I'm trying to stay on the point while keeping them off the point and getting damage in here. And that Plague there really allowed my team to move in without much worry here, and we're going to be able to take this point very easily. Everyone pretty much melts and get some nice points here. And they did take the other points. Looks like the water point is going to be... I don't even know what's going to happen there, but frankly, I don't care. I don't like to mess with the water stuff, so gonna keep on stomping this warrior. Foolishly just charge right in there. Get the objective defender. That's very useful in hot join matches, and throw down the swiftness, and gonna grasp this guy and just hit him with my 5. That is pretty much the key. Your 5 ability is going to be the damage dealer with almost all Necro builds, at least if you use a Scepter. That is your auto attack. It applies a very nice bleed and then eventually a poison, which is also pretty useful. If you do have the conditions with a build like this, condition damage is really effective, and it doesn't have the burst, and you can really see that this build has a lot of points into wells, so that is going to take away from the possibility of condition damage. And right now I'm going to get bled. I need to go into Death Shroud right here, and I do that. Death Shroud's going to cure those conditions, and if a ranger or anyone with a high damaging condition build gets on you, you do have that F1 ability, your Death Shroud. You can just pop right in and go right out. The Death Shroud not as effective with a condition build, but that's fine. I use it more for defense with a build like this, and most builds that I do use. Death Shroud is incredibly useful for that, and just, I mean, if you are using a precision critical damage build for Lich and Death Shroud, it can be very effective. And right there I just use my staff abilities. I don't use the staff too much, and consider going back here, but I do see that person on the ledge, and I'm going to back off right there. Remember, with gaining glory in a hot join match, you're gonna want to try to stick with a pack. You're gonna get so much more glory if you are in a pack of people. It's kinda dumb, but you know, I guess it makes sense. That's kind of how it goes. If you get a kill, you should get points, and it wouldn't really make sense for you to get nothing if you were killing people. And obviously 4 people will kill much more effectively than 1. And here's a warrior right here. I'm gonna be ready for a charge. He does look at me, but this mesmer did get him dazed pretty easily, and he does hit us with a stun, but he is going to go down hits the stun, his stun on that Mesmer there, and I get the stomp. For some reason, I'm not really sure what causes Skirmisher. I'm not 100% sure at least. I mean, if you think about it, it says if you kill away from a point, you'll get Skirmisher, but it seems to sometimes not work. Obviously, point defender points are good. If you have the point, you can definitely fight on it. And right here, I go up against this Mesmer, but the warrior comes in. Probably didn't need it. She was looks like somewhat of a support spec. Not many condition cures, and my bleeds were melting through here. And here's a warrior. Need to be careful. I throw down my blind well just to be careful. And you see the lifesteal on the ranger. That's definitely useful. And this warrior is going to go down. Looks like she's a bit of a rifle build there. And the rifle is definitely good against people who aren't looking. But if you do see that charged shot, you can very easily dodge it. So, Rifle Warrior is not really something that I prefer. It is very effective in matches like these. Can be good if you don't have many ranged on your team, but overall I prefer melee. Melee seems very powerful in a lot of different match types, especially matches like these. You have a lot of glass cannon builds in hot join matches, so while they are good for killing squishy people, they're not the best for getting points. I find durability with a mix of damage to be a lot more effective when it comes to point gaining. And right here, this engineer is actually doing surprisingly well. I dropped down my well of blood, and I probably could have stood my ground and used some wells, but I do try to support this other guy here, and this warrior is going to be doing a lot of damage to my partner, and this engineer is sticking on me hard, it seems, but she does switch, so I'm going to go back to her and I'm going to try to root her. I jump into Death Shroud to cure whatever was on me and get some direct damage in on her, but I can do a good amount, and I pop out of there. I must have had some conditions ticking on me because I am almost dead now, and that's not looking good. I'm trying to reposition myself, but on my mini-map, I pretty much see that if I do go up there, I am going to die. So I try to pull around this here to get some well and plague. I jump right into my plague, and I'm going to try to blind her and take her out, but she does pop her heal. Looks like she's heavy into elixirs. Definitely a build I am a little bit familiar with. The Pistol Engineer is fairly durable. It's very good against condition builds, especially an engineer who plays it well. And this engineer did a good job of curing conditions, and that's not going to go well. That's why you want to try to stay with a group, because you will have players that just are, they're too much. They have too many condition cures, they have too much burst, or you just don't have the cooldowns at the time. But if you are with a group, you have lots of AoE options. Looks like she was actually using an elixir gun, which is kind of strange, but as you can see, those burns and bleeds a little bit too much. One thing about the engineer is they apply a lot of short duration burns and bleeds, which makes the Death Shroud condition cure actually significantly less effective. Death Shroud is a lot better against like rangers or anyone with conditions that last quite some time. And here also the thief with caltrops, very good against that. Anyone with long bleeds you're gonna do significantly better against. But I'm gonna get those point capture points and just throw down some defensive marks there, and then switch back into my scepter and start with some damage on people. See these thieves, I do get pulled in by one, not going to worry about that. Quickly try to get out of these caltrops. They didn't get too high on stacks there, so I'm going to continue pressuring this thief here. I do drop a well, and thief is going to, looks like, not sure if that's the ultimate or the warrior weapon. Looked like the warrior weapon, and he's going to stealth away. I'm going to try to find him here, but not likely that he's going to pop up with everyone around here. It looks like a lot of bleeds were going on, and I'm going to chase this guy down. He is, oh man, he is just assaulting this person who seems to be either AFK or disconnected, so I'm going to try to blind him a bit, and I quickly realize I should not stand near him. Too many caltrops for me. Throw down the Death Shroud to cure that, and I'm going to revive my friend. I'll take the damage. Don't know what was happening there, but I'll take the points. Now he's back. I'm going for the kill here. I try to grasp him a bit and use my wells to pop him out of there, but he doesn't have much a chance as my friend is back now, and here comes the stomp. Gonna eat those bleeds once again. Not that big a deal with this build. You have a decent amount of hit points, not too many, and that was an interesting glitch there, but you have a lot of toughness. I'm using the toughness, precision, condition damage amulet, which I've actually grown a big liking to. I used to really favor the Rampager's amulet, but once they kind of toned down the critical bleeds from the weapon rune I use, it became a little less effective, and this tons of toughness is very useful. I find a lot of people don't actually run conditions, and if you do have the F1 Death Shroud to cure conditions or a decent condition removal, you can really just focus on the bursting classes such as warriors and thieves. And right now here is one such occasion. I'm going to try to blind him as much as possible, and you can see he's just Heartseeker spamming. Can be very deadly, as annoying as it is, and I'm not sure what happens here. Looks like a little bit of a glitch. I'm gonna jump out of that and finish this guy off. Go for the stomp. He's going to teleport, and I will finish him here. And I mean, this build is definitely, I'd say one of the better builds you can run in a hot join match for a Necromancer. Wells are definitely situational, but as you can see, good amount of points there. Definitely need to work on that. Don't have too much time. Got a level 43 guy there. My goodness, that's a lot. But anyway, I hope this video was helpful. If you have any suggestions on point gaining with a Necro, I'm definitely curious. I really do like wells. I find them to be pretty powerful. If I did get the trait to place them, that might be useful for this, but I find other traits more useful. And thanks for watching.